Hey everyone, welcome to today's coding session. Today I'll be solving the find peak element problem using Python. I will explain the problem statement, its constraint, and the efficient approach we'll be using. We will explore two methods. The brute force approach, which will be big O of n, is a simple linear scan to find the peak. This one is just for practice. And the binary search, big O log n, is a faster optimized method that has the search space in each step, and it's the one that we actually want to accomplish for this specific problem. And since we need big O of log n time complexity, the binary search approach, it is the best choice. As I code, I'll explain each step, how we eliminate it, unnecessary comparison, and how the algorithm maintains a big O of 1 space complexity while ensuring correctness. And here is a sneak peek of what we're looking for. We're looking for the peak, as you can see. Anything at the ends will be labeled as negative infinity. So we need to find an index of a peak element in a given zero index integer array nums. A peak element is defined as an element that is strictly greater than its neighbor. If an element is at the start or end of the array, we'll treat the outbound neighbor as negative infinity. If there are multiple peaks, we can return any of them. The algorithm must run in big O of log n time, meaning we cannot afford a simple linear scan, but we will try it anyways. These two examples is just illustrating what the problem is. Our array, our output would be 2, and 3 is the peak, 2 meaning the index, because we got 0, 1, 2. This one is greater than the left neighbor and the right neighbor. Same thing here, the output is going to be 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is greater than its neighbor, and that's why we're going to return that. So the array contains at least one element and at most 1,000 elements. So we must ensure our solution handles small and large array efficiently. And the values in the arrays can be very large or very small, as they follow the standard integer range. No two adjacent elements are equal. This guarantees that every element is either increasing or decreasing compared to its neighbors, ensuring that at least one peak always exists in the array. These constraints will help us optimize our approach while ensuring correctness. Now let's move on to implement our solution. So this is the big picture idea of what we're doing. We find a peak element, and this is only the brute force approach. We'll find a peak element by checking each element and determining whether it is greater than its neighbor. So first, we'll start by iterating through the array from index 0 to n-1. For each element, we have two cases to check. If it's greater than its left neighbor, or it is the first element, if it's greater than its right neighbor, or is the last element. And then if both conditions are met, we'll return the index of the peak element. And then we'll continue to process until we find a peak. And pretty much this illustrates it. We're looking for a peak. It must be above its neighbor. Same thing, this is above its neighbor, so this is the peak. The output in this case is 1 as well, because that's the index, and the output is 1 because that's the index. Okay, so now with that we talked about the algorithm, let's do the actual code. So first we're gonna initialize n, and then we're gonna find our edge case, which is to say, is there only one element in this array? And if that's the case, we're gonna return the 0 index, since there's only one. Now we're gonna iterate through num so that we can start comparing array left and right. So here what we're doing is, first we're going to see if I is greater than 0. If that's the case, we're going to assign this to left. Otherwise, meaning if we just started, we're going to assign the negative infinity as we showed in the picture. Now in this case, we're going to do a different case, right? So here, if I is less than n, now we're going to assign this to right. On the other case, in the event that I is greater than n-1, then we're going to assign negative infinity. As a way of saying that the right side, we hit that edge case to the right, and here we hit the edge case to the left. Here what we're doing is, we're comparing num-I, which is the actual value of num, against the left that we compared here, and num-I again against the right that we created here. Based on that, we are going to return the index, meaning if num-I is greater than left and it's greater than the right, then we're going to return the index, which is a way of saying we found a peak. In the event that we do not find a peak at all, we're going to return -1. All right, so that one, both cases work. And let's see why we're getting the wrong answer. Okay, so I found the error, which is the negative sign should have been there. Okay, so here, this is just for example, our runtime beats 100%. Memory is pretty good. The only problem with the solution is that that's not what they're asking for. They're asking us to find big O of log n, which, since we know this is brute force, this is going to be big O of n. So let's actually do an example. So here's a walkthrough of the code. So now we're initializing the n, which in this case, the array is size 6. Then we're checking if the array is only size 1, which is not, so we're going to skip it. Now we're going to start I equals 0, and the range will be from 0 to 5. Even though it's 6, range always works by n minus 1. Then we're going to initialize the left side, and in this case, it's going to be 0 minus 1, which will give us -1, and therefore we're going to initialize this to -infinity, because I is not greater than 0. So then again, left is equal to -infinity. Now we're going to evaluate for right. Right is 0 plus 1, which will give us 1. And that means that we are here, 3. Is I first less than this? Yes, it is. So we're going to evaluate it based on this, and we'll give it the value of 3. So right now equals 3. Same thing here now. So we're saying is num I, which would be 1, is 1 greater than -infinity, and is 1 greater than 3. That's false. And since it's false, we're going to move on and start the loop again. I is now 1. We're going from 1 to 5. And again, we're going to initialize this. So we got, is I1 greater than 0? Yes. So now we're going to give it the value of 1. And that's what left equals now. So now again is 1 plus 1, which will give us 2. So we're going to get index 2. And there would be the value of 2 for right, based on the fact that 2 is less than n minus 1. So now we're going to evaluate. Is 3 greater than 1? Yes. And is 3 greater than 2? Yes. So we found our value, and it's going to be an index 1, which would be 3. We're going to be returning 1 as the answers, since that's what we're asking for. And I hope this walkthrough helped you understand how to efficiently find a peak element using a brute force approach. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more in-depth coding tutorial. Now let's explore the binary search approach, which improves our time complexity to O log n, which is what we need. Okay, so this is a big picture of what we're supposed to be doing. Since we need to find a peak efficiently, binary search is the great option. So first, we're going to pick the middle element, which will be mid, as we see here. And if none mid is peak, we'll return it. Otherwise, we're going to check the neighboring elements. If none mid is less than none mid plus 1, then a peak must exist on the right. Also, peak must exist on the left. And that's how we end up moving it around. These are the options that we're going to go through. Either the peak is to the right, the peak is to the left, or the peak is in the middle. But either way, mid needs to find the peak. But in our case, left or right is actually going to find the peak. All right, so let's actually implement the code. First, we're going to initialize left and right. Just like you do with any binary search, we're just going to get the left and right limits using the array. Then we're going to compare left and right. And we're going to continue to do this loop all the way until left is either the same as right, or basically when it's no longer less than. This loop will continue. Now we're going to initialize our necessary value of finding the middle value, and we do that by adding left and right, and then do an integer division. And now we're going to actually use the mid value to find the actual value in the array, and we're going to compare it to the value to the right. If mid is greater than the value to the right, then we're going to move our right array to the left, or our right index to the left, or right extreme index to the left. And we do that by assigning it the value of mid. In the event that this is false, that the value of mid is not greater, then now we're gonna move the leftmost index to the right, +1. We're gonna continue to do this loop all the way till we find the value that is the peak. If we don't, and once we find it, what we're gonna do is we can return left or right, because at the end of the day, they're gonna be the same value. So again, the runtime is excellent, and this one in regards to memory is worse than the linear search, but unfortunately we need to actually do a big log n solution, so this is what we must do. All right, let's go through an example problem to see how this works. Again, we initialize the left and right, which will be 6 and 0 and 6. Then we know that 0 is less than 6, so we're going to get into the loop. Then we're going to calculate the mid value, which is 0 plus 6 divided by 2, which will give us 3. And at 3, the value will be 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. That's the value there. And now, again, we got num mid, which would be 3. And the value to the right, which is 5. And is 3 greater than 5, which is what this is asking right here? No, that is false. So we are going to do the else statement, where we're going to assign 3, which is the mid value currently, plus 1, which will give us 4. So left here is going to reassign to 4. So now left is 4. And now we're asking, okay, is 4 here less than 6? That's true, so we can continue the loop. We're going to reassign the value of mid. 4 plus 6 is 10 divided by 2 is 5. At 5, we get the value of 6. Now we're going to do the same comparison. So is 6 greater than 4? Yes, 6 is greater than 4. So now we're going to move our array to the left, our right index to the left. So as you can see, we went from 6, and now the right should be 5 based on what we just did. Moving it to the left, and boom, here we go. So now it's left. So now we're asking, is 4 less than 5? Meaning the left index versus the right index. And that's true, and since that's the case, we'll continue. And now we're calculating it again. 4 plus 5 is going to give us 9, divided by 2 is going to give us 4. So now we're going to get at 4 the value of 5 for num array. So now we ask the question, is 5 greater than 6? And that's going to be false again, because 5 is not greater than 6. We're going to go and move the left index by doing 4 plus 1, which is our mid, plus 1, which will give us 5. We're going to evaluate again as 5. As you can see here, we already calculated 5. Originally left was 4. Is 5 less than 5? That's false. So now we're going to exit the loop, and we're going to return the index, which is 5. As you can see, right and left have the same value, so it doesn't matter which one we return. But that is the peak. 6 is greater than 5, and 6 is greater than 4, which is what we're looking. We're looking for a peak. So the graph illustrates the time and space complexity of the two approaches. As you can see, the brute force is big O of n, which is linear growth, and it becomes significantly slower as n increases. And then there's the binary search, which is what we needed to implement, big O of log n. Line grows much more slowly, making it a better choice for large n value. Space-wise, both have the constant space complexity of big O of 1, meaning they use the same amount of memory regardless of input size. Well, I hope you enjoy coding today. Happy coding, and see you next time.